Okay, you already know what it is. We're gonna run the thing down. I'm gonna not get too in depth with this, because I'm probably just gonna drop the preset in the Patreon and let you guys just snag it from there. And then, all right, let's run it.
Isn't it?
Okay, so this is what we've got here. And I know it's not one for one. This bass line is honestly like a classic garage style bass line that like probably originally came off a Korg sampler or a Korg ES1 or whatever the old school Electribes were. That was like the original sound of like garage from back in the day in two-step music. So the only real difference between these two, I did have a one-for-one version in the original that I made, but I kind of had cheated and I used Trash 2. The main difference is that the envelope here, it's a little bit shorter, so when I drop this preset into the Patreon, and if you guys want to snag it, you might want to like play around with the shape of it, maybe open it up a little bit. Kind of liked it a little bit shorter. Just what I've done is I actually have been using a lot of these FFTs lately in the digital wavetables because they have the harmonics built into them, so you can easily get like a nice little harmonic shape out of it. So the real trick to sound design is it's all in the processing. And I mean, again, everyone's going to be different because everyone's going to have different plugins and the tone and texture that they're looking for. Some people like to dirty sounds up. It really kind of helps later on in a mix when you're filtering and EQing out to have a little bit more fullness and richness in the tones. Some people like it a little bit more clean, but either way, it all comes from the processing. So what I've done here, and a little trick that I like to use, is since the majority of this sound is actually sitting about here in the envelope shape, a lot of the low end and mid range is going to get cut off by the time the sound is dipped. And then, so a little trick that I kind of like to use for having a song, like a sound like a donk or a wub or just like a shorter sound, have a little bit more presence in the mix without muddying it up too much, is I'll drop a reverb on it. Because you can EQ a reverb a little bit, and what it's going to do is it's going to tail the tone of the sound out, so then you're going to be able to shape the tone a little bit more and control like the harmonics in the mix without having to like muddy it up or worry about too many technical stuff like phasing and whatnot. So I dropped a reverb on this just to get a little bit more presence, and then just a little bit of distortion and stuff, and then I bumped up about 600 700 into the original sound just to get like a nice texture out of it, and then cut out some of the highs. And initially what you should be doing is probably starting off with a splitter, and if you go into here, there's a couple different options. You can have it like either 2 or 3 band or mid side, and I just used a low high split because there's still some multiband in the compressor. So on the lows, I just have it like beefing it up with a little bit of saturation, nothing crazy. A majority of the sound is coming out of these two, which is asymmetrical drive. In the original, I had trash on here, and here we have like you can do a bipolar, asymmetrical, different kinds of saturations in Trash 2, which is what really makes Trash 2 shine. But Serum 2 does have a great distortion unit. I really like the asymmetrical one. This is the one that I found that fits the best with the shape, and then the drive is actually kind of creates the shape of the saturation. And then the mix amount also in part does that as well. So you can really dial the distortion in Serum 2, which I like a lot. But a majority of the sound also comes out of the convolution, which I originally have my own. Like I used growl, but if I took all the trash convolutions out of trash and I put it in the Serum 2, which you can do if you have trash. Just drop it into the user factory folder, and then you'll have all the same convolution as Trash 2, which I highly recommend. Maybe I'll drop all those into my Patreon for next month's subscribers if you guys don't have Trash 2. So anyways, so I used the growl, a really powerful tool for sound design, and I'm really happy that they put it in Serum 2. It definitely changed the game for like how you can process sounds. It really adds a lot of texture and tone, and this is like a secret weapon for sound designers that always has been. You can shape tones with a convolution from anything. I forget how to do it, but if you if you like hold Alt, yeah, if you hold Alt and then just drag this into another oscillator, it'll copy into that oscillator. But also, if you hold the wavetable, I think you can also, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to ruin the patch, but I think you can also hold Alt and then drag a wavetable into the convolution, or there's a way to copy it in the settings somewhere. But you can bounce your wavetables into convolution and then kind of double up on harmonics from your own wavetables into the convolution here, like drag and drop it into there, and use your own custom sounds also to just kind of like build crazy harmonics that no one else is going to have, that will be unique to your wavetables and your sounds that you put in, which is definitely an awesome way to like figure out your own signature sound when it comes to sound design. Highly recommend playing around with that. But what I did was I split the sound up, again, just distorted the lows, and then the highs are really where this character of the sound really gets created. You can hear it's just most kind of a basic sound. All that extra character and tone that you're looking for comes out just with a little bit of convolution. And bumped the size up 150%, and then I bumped the tone up just to get a little bit more of that bite out of it. And then I pulled the decay down a lot to kind of shape it, just so it's a lot shorter because the sound is a lot shorter. So I wanted to kind of match the shape of it. And then I bumped a little bit of the drive up, finally put that back through a compressor, and just to kind of keep control over the release again, keep the overall patch sitting nicely in the mix without any parts of it being too loud or too pokey. Which I think is the most underrated part about multiband compression. A lot of people just throw OTTs on stuff because it dirties it up, but in my opinion, best case scenario for multiband is you're using it to clean things up, and then you can push a lot of that dirt into it using like the bands and shaping the frequencies or the volumes, and then tighten up the release to really like kind of clamp down on it and like glue it in, best case scenario. So yeah, this is the patch. Gonna again probably just drop it into my Patreon, and then later on this week probably upload another video which is going to be like showing another popular UK club song that's been really big this year. And then I'm also going to be showcasing like a new bundle for the Patreon for these projects that's going to have all these patches in it, like this one, and then like another 100 for like UK garage, club music, deep dub, that kind of stuff, all in one bundle for Patreon shop. But yeah, all right, so that's it. And then hope everyone learned something. Drop into the Patreon, grab the patch, and then I'll see you in the next video.